So what's wrong with you, sad sack?
I don't know, it just seems like I'm never gonna get this truck to the track this year because between the weather, stuff breaking, it just seems like it's not gonna happen.
Oh, suck it up, Buttercup. We can't do nothing about the weather.
I know.
But you can get underneath this truck and start turning some wrenches.
I know.
Did you let stuff break and stop you no-name nationals? Did you just roll over and pee all over yourself like a dog?
No.
No, you didn't. Now put on your big boy panties and get to work.
I hate to say it, but you're right. I can get this thing going before the last test and tune there at Rogersville. We can do this. It ain't no big deal.
Yeah, you know, I ain't just another pretty face. But I gotta get out of here. You got me a hot date. Just give me a holler whenever you get this thing done.
Well, that figures. He ain't ever around to help fix stuff. I sure hope he ain't going down to the nursing home again. We were fixing stuff that we already broke. Then we found some more stuff that was broke. We're gonna fix it all. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna get in there and do it right. Might have to take some time. We still got some time to make it to the track one last time this year. You know, it is what it is. I know I'm not going to be able to get it done. This is Friday. I'm not going to be able to get it done for tomorrow for the test and tune, and it's supposed to rain, so I'm just not even going to sweat it. I'm just going to get this transmission out, get the bell housing fixed, all that stuff. I just really need to get in this truck. I need to get it down the track. I want to get some official times and just have some fun with it. I want to hit that nitrous a couple times, you know, just to see what it'll do. I want to, you know, see what this big block will do versus the 339 stroker. So I just got a lot of reasons I want to get it to the track, and I know you guys want to see it get to the track. I don't want this just to be a, you know, project truck that well, I do make fun of him, call him a race truck. That's always been in jest, but you know, he's kind of headed that way to be a legitimate race truck. So anyhow, I'm gonna get underneath the truck and start pulling this transmission out. The only issue I've got with that that's really hanging me up is the cross member bolts. Not the ones that I've just put back in there, but the ones that hold the frame. When I had this truck down earlier this year, I just left the cross member in because the bolts were seized solid. So I just left them in there, didn't try to get them cut out or anything like that, because I was pulling the engine transmission all out together and put it in all together, so I didn't need to get the cross member out. So I'm gonna have to fight that. Not a big deal. I got a torch, I got cut off wheels, grinder, whatever I need to use. I can get those out. Not a big deal. It's kind of in a bad spot. I'm gonna probably get burnt a little bit, but that's just part of it. So yeah, we're gonna get this thing out and see what we can do about fixing this bell housing situation. I think I pretty well got it figured out. Now I didn't, in the last video, when I was editing everything, you know, I kind of ended it off. I was a little bit upset. I mean, not upset, but just a little frustrated. And this kind of ended it off. And I hate that I done that to you guys. Let's get in here and I'll show you this crack on the bell housing. That's about as good as I can get the camera in there with light and everything. I don't think it goes all the way to the mating surface, to the block. It might. There might be more than one crack, but that's the one I can see. I've got another aluminum bell housing that's in good shape, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with my scatter shield or scatterproof bell housing that I got this summer that I was gonna put on this truck anyways. But the reason this didn't make it in there before No Name Nationals is because this center hole is smaller than the input shaft bearing housing that's on the front of those sm465 transmissions. But I found an old one that's got the snout busted off of it, and we started playing around with it. My son Shelman come over and we kind of messed around with it and machined it down in the lathe to where it just fits down inside there. It probably needs to be just a little bit tighter fit, but I think that's the route we're going to go, because I've, you know, taken it to machine shop There's gonna be a lot of time involved in that. My machine shop that's closest to me that does all my machine work, they're just way too far behind. They didn't even want to mess with it right now. So we played around with this idea. I actually talked to a friend of mine that's done a lot of circle track stuff, and they've had to do this before on their circle track cars. The only thing I'm really gonna have to watch out for is this drain back hole for the transmission gear oil. It's real close, but I think it's gonna work. I can just use some good RTV and make sure I've got it gooped up good, or as my buddies from Texas call it, pookie. I'll pookie it all up, and no one's ever gonna see it except for you guys and me. And I might have to kind of make the holes just a little, notch out the bell housing just a little bit where the holes are, just to make sure the bolts go in. But I think I can make it work. So yeah, get the transmission out, start working on that. I'll get my transmission. I've got a deal made up to where I can set it on an engine stand where it's nice and easy to work with. And another thing I realized, I didn't show you guys the carrier bearing in the last video, and that's what that video was about. But like I said, kind of got a little frustrated and ended it off. But here we go. Carrier bearing is mounted and is in line with the rear end the best I could do. Got it greased up, and I ran the truck in high gear to about 5,000, a little over 5,000 RPM, just to make sure everything up to this point, the carrier bearing was smooth, everything was smooth, because I just want to check what I've got so far. If there's any weirdness in the drive shaft or any vibrations, I want to know where it was at. So this is the best way to do it. Just start up and run it. Everything seemed fine, seemed smooth. So now I got to take that back apart and get the exhaust, get everything out of here, and get this transmission out. And don't forget to take your shifter loose, get it out of the way, and it makes it a whole lot easier to take your transmission hump out. Yeah, I've done that before, working in the shop, and get the vehicle up on the lift, get to pulling the transmission, and it won't come out because, yeah, you leave the shifter in. It was a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a struggle. Not that big of a deal. I ended up having to use the torch to make the crossmember bolts into liquid so they would come out. I've fought with them. So, nah, not gonna do that no more. I got the old torch out and got them cut out. So now, got the transmission out onto the stand. Of course, that was a whole another deal. Well, here we go. This deal here, I'm going to go in these transmissions. I've got one for these sm465s, and also got one for Allison's. They only work in the stands with the bigger deal. So this stand actually had, this 283. that's under this bag right here on that stand. I had switched stands because that stand wasn't big enough. The hole wasn't big enough for the deal for the transmission. So I had to switch stands, put this 283 on that stand. That 283, as a side note, Squarebody stuff is going to be building that for another channel. And it's going to be pretty cool. So stay tuned for that. But let's get back to Squarebody stuff. So I got this transmission on the stand and looking over the bell housing. It's a little bit worse than what I thought it was. Now initially I just seen the crack from about here to around here, but it does go through this bolt hole and down into the starter cavity there. But it doesn't it's got enough greasy stuff on it. I can't see exactly where it ends, but looking from the inside, you know, it kind of ends somewhere in here. No, it's not. That's just a scratch. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my time, because I didn't clean this as well, as you can see. I didn't clean this transmission up when I put it back in the truck. It looks like garbage. You know, the rest of the truck is, you know, well, Squeaky is what he is, but actually fairly clean underneath. The engine is, you know, the engine's kind of clean and fresh paint and sexy looking. Then we got this. Even the rear end is painted. So I'm probably gonna take the time, clean this up. I gotta pull this bell housing off and get that bell housing on there. But we gotta machine this bearing carrier or bearing housing to fit inside that bell housing. Yeah, it's just little things. We'll just keep pecking away at it till we get it ready to go back in the truck. I took a little scraping and some more scraping and a little more scraping, and I finally got cleaned up enough. I'm not gonna get too carried away with it right now. Maybe on down the road, I do plan on tearing this thing apart, freshening it up. But for right now, it's way better than it was. You can actually see the bolts and everything on it. Not too shabby. Back here, it was packed full of asphalt. Literally had to chip it away. Another cool thing I found out is, of course, I've seen the date code on the case is A28. Yeah. So that would be January 20th, 78. Top case A18, so it'd be January 18th, 78. And then this code right here that's stamped into it, C8S155248. Guess what that corresponds to? 155248. It's man, that just brought the value of this truck up tremendously. I've got a numbers matching transmission in this thing. And the way the square bodies are going nowadays, man, this thing's gonna be worth a bunch. Not really, he's just gonna be Squeaky. He's gonna be my play toy. We're just gonna have some fun with him. But it is kind of cool. This is the original transmission. I assumed it was, because it was originally a 250 straight six with the sm465 heavy duty transmission. So kind of assumed it was, but you never know until you actually run the numbers. Got to pull the cover off the front and start machining on it like we done on this this spare. Got to machine it down to to fit inside of our bell housing. I got it all machined down, and it should fit really nice and snug, and it does. I mean, I already know because I'm not going to show you if it's all screwed up, but it fits in there nice and snug. That way it centers it real good, nice and tight. If I can find a seal and hopefully get it in within the next couple days, then I'll replace the seal. If not, it's really stiff. I really do need to replace that. So I'll get a seal ordered, at least get this seal in. I may do the output shaft seal too, you know, because this would be a good time to do it while everything's out. Probably original seals, who knows. Anyways, so that fits. I'll have to do some more checking in on what I'm going to do about the drain back hole, because it does come out. It's actually not as bad as this other one. Anyways, I'll chuck it back in the lathe the other way and clean the snout up. That way my throwout bearing runs really nice and smooth. Redress that. I probably should have, you know, just bought a new one of these, but I might get another one in stock, or go ahead and buy another one, have another one ready just in case. Now, since I've got to wait to get the seals in for this, because I didn't plan ahead, I dropped the ball on that one for sure. I knew I was going to have this transmission out again. I should have went ahead and ordered the seals. I was going to do that the last time I had it out, but didn't do it then either. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Whenever you're doing these projects, you just forget about ordering all the parts. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut the video off here, because I've got a lot more stuff to do on this transmission. Well, not a lot, but a few more things. And instead of dragging this video out into a 2-hour-long cinematic feature with low quality editing, I'm going to end it off. So, because I've got got that machine, but I do have to machine something else on this input shaft, bearing retainer, bearing housing, whatever you want to call it. These housings actually retain the input shaft bearing. And with the way I've machined it and everything, I'm not going to be able to run the gasket. The gasket came apart on me, and I'm not going to order a new gasket. I'm just going to use some RTV to seal it back up. But with that, it's got, I use some feeler gauges. It's roughly around a 40 to 50 thousandths gap right there to hold that bearing in, and I don't need that gap. So what I'm going to have to do is machine this lip a little bit to make it work. But with that, I've got a few other little things to do this to make it happen. I've kind of played around with it a little bit to see what I'm gonna need, so I don't have to, wait on anything anymore. But I've got enough stuff going on for this video. You guys have hung out long enough. I appreciate you guys watching my videos on the Chronicles of Squeaky. I love this truck. You guys have showed me so much support for this truck and all my other trucks too, and the channel as a whole. Can't express my gratitude, that's the word I'm looking for, enough to all you fans out there. So yeah, I'm gonna end it off here. Stay tuned for, I guess, chapter 3 in the getting Squeaky to the racetrack at least one time this year and making a full pass. I'm bound and determined to do it. And old Stumpy, he stepped up and he gave me a little pep talk. Got the fire lit again. Yeah, Who'd have thunk it? So we're going to end it off here. Until next time, y'all keep your square bodies rolling, and we will catch you later.